Hello, everyone. My name is Lori, and I will be talking about omega 3 fatty acids and heart health. What are omega 3 fatty acids? They are essential nutrients, which means that our body cannot produce them on our own, so we must get them from our diet. They are also a healthier alternative to saturated fat. Omega 3 fatty acids are polyunsaturated fatty acids, and they include alpha linolenic acid, docosahexaenoic acid, and eicosapentaenoic acid, which are abbreviated as ALA, DHA, and EPA. Fatty acids are chain like chemical molecules made up of carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen atoms, and the carbon atoms form the backbone of the chain, with oxygen and hydrogen atoms latching on to available slots. Here are the structures for each acid, and at the third position, counting from the omega side of the chain, there is a double bond, which is what makes them omega 3 fatty acids. Omega 3 fatty acids are very significant for many different functions of our bodies, including our cells. They are required to build cell membranes and help support interaction between cells. And most evidence for the benefits of omega 3 are related to heart health. A main component is the reduction of triglyceride levels, and additionally, omega 3 can help raise HDL levels and lower blood pressure. So, how is it involved with the reduction of triglyceride levels, and why is that important? Having a high level of triglycerides in the blood actually increases the risk of getting atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis is when there is a buildup of plaque on the inner lining of the arteries, which causes them to thicken and harden. In addition, the diameter of the blood vessels becomes smaller, making it harder for the blood to pass through and deliver nutrients to the heart. This is what increases blood pressure and also increases the risk of heart disease and stroke. As you can see in the image, the artery that is to the right is narrowed by plaque, which makes it harder for the blood to pass through. Omega 3 also raises HDL levels, and HDL is a lipoprotein that removes cholesterol from the cells and returns it back to the liver to be used in bile production. And this process is known as reverse cholesterol transport and can lower the risk for cardiovascular disease. There are many different sources of omega 3. Alpha linolenic acid is derived from plant sources. These include canola oil, walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, soybeans, and pumpkin seeds. EPA and DHA are only found in animal sources, specifically in seafood. Cold water fish such as salmon, sardines, shrimp, mackerel, and halibut contain EPA and DHA. When you get alpha linolenic acid from food, your body is able to tune some of that into EPA and then DHA. However, this process only provides a very small amount of EPA and DHA, so it is recommended to get EPA and DHA directly from our diet. My research question is: are omega 3 fatty acids beneficial for heart health? This first study was an observation and randomized control study by the American Heart Association, which assessed the beneficial association between fish consumption and cardiovascular disease mortality. Patients with suspected myocardial infarction were given either fish oil, mustard oil, or a placebo, and after 1 year, cardiac events were found to be lowest in the group given fish oil. The study concluded that consumption of EPA and DHA supplements from zero point 0.5 to 1.8 grams per day reduces the risk for future cardiovascular disease mortality. This table shows a summary of recommendations for omega 3 fatty acid intake. The data from this study is supportive of the recommendations of the American Heart Association guidelines, which advises to include at least 2 servings of fish per week in our diet. The results also recommend the addition of vegetable oils and foods high in alpha linolenic acid in the diet. The table provides recommendations for specific populations, such as patients with CHD, without CHD, and those that need to achieve lower triglyceride levels. This next study was an animal study that tested whether a diet of omega 3 fatty acid reduced cardiovascular disease risk in Wistar rats. For 13 weeks, female Wistar rats were fed 5 different supplements of fish oils, and soybean and linseed were used as the control. Glycated hemoglobin levels and lipid profiles, including triglycerides and cholesterol, were measured. The results concluded that a diet containing a 1-to-1 ratio of EPA and DHA showed improvement of cardiovascular risk factors relative to other diets. This table shows the lipid profiles, and you can see that triglyceride levels, LDL levels, and HDL levels were observed in this study. The third study was a population based case control study which was performed in Washington. 334 case patients with primary cardiac arrest, aged 25 to 74 years old, and case control subjects were interviewed to evaluate omega 3 polyunsaturated fatty acid from seafood during the month prior. Blood samples were then evaluated to determine the red blood cell membrane fatty acid composition. And the consumption of modest amounts of long chain omega 3 polyunsaturated fatty acids, which is the equivalent of 1 fatty fish meal per week, was associated with a reduction in the risk of primary cardiac arrest. Specifically, a diet with an intake of 5.5 grams of long chain omega 3 polyunsaturated fatty acids per month is associated with a 50% reduction in primary cardiac arrest risk. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I hope you have a good day.